We recently did some maintenance on my Knitking AM3, which is the same as a Knittax AM3. The machine was basically working just fine, but the clue that it needed maintenance was that it was quite stiff to push, as well as the fact that some of the sinkers tended to stay up rather than dropping down after the row had been completed, as they should. Our experience getting it from stiff to smooth might be helpful to you. Looking under the carriage, at first I thought, well, that's pretty clean. That can't be the issue. So I lubricated it, which did not help. A more critical look in good light showed that there were actually fibers clinging to the metal, quite a lot of them. And we had to get in just the right light to see this. But here's a deposit of old, hardened, dried out grease. That kind of thing will really put a drag on the passage of the carriage. And there were even areas where the old metal showed a little bit of damage or corrosion. Those also can impact performance. So I got to work with dental tools and an old screwdriver in an attempt to remove the grease that was dried. Quickly learned to avoid the screwdriver. It has too much potential to scratch the metal. I actually did scratch it a little bit and had to use the steel wool to smooth it back out. Some dental tools are, of course, actually designed for gently getting deposits off teeth without damaging the enamel, and they worked really well. The original purpose of the steel wool, the finest you can possibly get, was to get off those little tiny corroded spots, and it does work well for that. It takes patience and time, but you still want to use the finest. The goal is to make things smoother, not rougher. With this particular carriage, the LPS products that we normally use weren't doing a satisfactory job. So I switched to Ballistol. I heard about this some years ago from other machine knitters. I've used it ever since then, especially on all-metal, non-chromed carriages such as this AM3. On those, it seems a little bit more persistent than the silicone products. We don't normally like to use Q-tips because they can leave cotton fiber behind, but on this occasion, that was what worked. I kept swabbing and gently scrubbing and probing. The left end is recently dipped in Ballistol. The right end is after use. A quick once-over did remove some grime, but being persistent for 20 or 30 minutes removed a lot more. There's a visible difference, even though it didn't really look all that dirty to begin with, but you can see improvement. Now, how does it knit? And the answer is much, much better. So much better that I've been knitting charity hats on it, and I made a movie so you can knit some too. So the carriage stiffness turned out to be simply a matter of cleanliness and lubrication, as it so often is. The sticky sinkers were not that. Jack did some serious work on those, and we've learned a lot that we will share with you in the movie about the sinkers.